extra opportunity to do so.
That brings us to our next match. It's going to be Plastikqs versus brskaylor. Let's take a look at the picks and the bans. Plastikqs goes ahead and bans Balcony any 2 of 3. brskaylor goes ahead and bans, oh, this hurts, Gallery any 4 of 8.
Yeah, Plastikqs banned Balcony 6 times this year, so not fooling around. And brskaylor, I'm sorry, what did you say they banned again?
Gallery.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, most banned for them too, tied with High Rise. So both players just playing it straight, no surprises. Oh, you don't have to be too surprising with your ban sometimes because they can't do anything to stop it.
Oh, the counterplay as they so call it. Anyway, let's get into the picks. Plastikqs goes ahead, picks Courtyard, 4 of 7. brskaylor responds with, oh, I love it, Terrace, any 3 of 5. Plastikqs with Ballroom, any 4 of 8. brskaylor responding with Modern, any 5 of 8. Plastikqs going ahead and picking, yes, Pub, any 4 of 7. And then we're finishing off with High Rise, any 3 of 5.
Plastikqs' most picked maps this year were Courtyard and Pub. So just playing it straight, doing what's worked for them all year. Let me ask you something. Do either one of you know how many weeks were in the Challenger season?
10.
That is how many times Plastikqs picked Courtyard this year. Every single week.
All right.
I mean, if you find something that works for you, you find something that works for you.
It's working for them, absolutely, because here they are, the number 5 seed here, and they won their earlier matches, by the way, 9-2 and 9-0. So an even easier time than David W., who I mentioned.
All right, well, let's see how this one shakes out. Let's go into Courtyard. I'm not going to do the little level intro. We just saw Courtyard. Take it away, you two.
brskaylor starting things off on the spy side as Alice. Plastikqs on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Fun little bit of trivia. The reason we call this character Alice is because she was modeled after the artist John Cimino's girlfriend, who is named Alice.
Yeah, it's very weird. I met her in person at PAX, and let me tell you, it feels very strange. Okay.
Banana bread.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. I was going to say, very weird to meet someone in person who you've shot a couple hundred times.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
I felt obligated to apologize, but she seemed very understanding about it.
Shot correctly or incorrectly?
Yes.
Both. 50% on the first flirt on the green test. We survived the red contact.
Maybe.
That's the important part.
There's no reason to shoot yet, but they might have gotten away with it. We won't know until they do something dispositive.
Oh boy. Minute and 50 on the clock. brskaylor playing this quite gingerly after that start. Which, fair play.
Well,
the 2 flirt as well. That's real nice.
Yeah, so the problem is, it's not like a purloin or a swap where maybe someone else is going to get shot and you can convince them that you're not the one who did it. In this case, it's pretty unlikely they assumed an AI did it, so you kind of just have to play your game straight and hope they didn't catch it.
This is true. But generally, the feeling you get when you play this game is, oh heck, I'm a high suspect, play it cool.
Right. But in this case, you just have to pretend it didn't happen and move on, most of the time.
Stepping into statues for the pair of inspects. No highlight as of yet. Sets it down. Nice and easy. There's the highlight. Oh! Oh, the bug! It got caught, right? Yeah, it got caught. Oh, man, that could have been good.
It's a valiant effort, but yeah, Plastikqs all over it, showing why they're such a high seed to begin with. Good play by brskaylor, even better catch by Plastikqs.
Yeah, that was not a terrible bug.
No, it really wasn't.
Rotating. I think if you're not highlight, you probably get away with that.
Plastikqs was looking for it. I think the only problem is that there was enough of a walk-up to it that it seemed a little telegraphed. When you see someone making a beeline for the general area of the Ambassador with a minute left on Courtyard, hopefully, if you're a decent sniper, you're going to position yourself to catch something like that. And in this case, the camera work in particular, very good from Plastikqs.
And Plastikqs goes up 1-0 to start things out, stepping into the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
This is becoming my new thing, frankly. Talking about sniper camera angles. I'm starting to realize that it's a very underappreciated part of the game.
Oh, I wanted that bug so, but why are we still here? Okay, it's fine. No bug has happened. Everything is okay. We pick up the first flirt for 34%. Man, though, when we hit that pinwheel right next to the Ambassador, that was... You could easily just take a bullet for that.
Yeah, yeah, you're going to be a suspect potentially anyway. I think it's one of those situations where...
No, you can't take that briefcase! He was right there!
Well, we'll see if they notice. I think probably, even if you don't want to crash bug early in the game like that, it's going to look so suspicious you kind of maybe just should.
Yeah, I think so. The purloin... Not the purloin. The fingerprint does come off. The briefcase goes back. No shots yet. No highlights yet. This is either absolutely terrible or completely fine. Time ad comes off. Yeah, we're fine at this point.
We've got it narrowed down to those two at least. That's good.
I think after the time ad has happened, there's no way. At this point, Plastikqs is home free with the weirdness from the start of the game. Gets the second fingerprint, gets the inspects done. No highlight.
That's interesting. Yeah, clearly not following the standard statue highlight strategy on Courtyard. Always more interesting, I think, when people do that. But on this map, it just makes so much sense. No matter how creative you want to be, it's so hard to argue for something else pragmatically.
Flirt up to 68%. I think that time ad was probably just testing the waters, trying to see how suspicious Plastikqs was, and once you get away with that clean, you're feeling pretty good, especially once you've got the fingerprint done.
Banana bread.
Contact comes off. One flirt to win. I don't see how brskaylor comes back from this.
No, a little aggressive on the fingerprint, but if you get away with it, you get away with it. If they didn't even notice the briefcase in general, what are the odds they're actually tracking fingerprint that closely?
This is true. 1 minute left to play. All we need is the single flirt. And here we go. Stepping into conversation with the seduction target. 50 seconds is plenty of time, even if she bails on us. There's the flirt coming off. And the flirt getting done. 5 seconds on the countdown, and brskaylor shows no intention of doing anything at all, and Plastikqs comes out swinging with a 2-0 start.
Yeah, very strong start, and just too many unforced errors, too many aggressive things. But if you're someone like Plastikqs and you've done so well, it's very tempting to do something unusually aggressive in the first couple of games. See if they catch you. Get the lay of the land, especially in a tournament like this. We have a lot of underpromoted people because they joined SCL late, so this is where they end up, but they're a lot better than their seed. It can be harder and harder to tell the quality of the opponent you're playing. So sometimes you can make a case, especially in a longer set like this, not just a quick little, first to 7, not exactly sacrifice a game, but do some aggressive stuff, maybe get away with it, and if you don't, you've learned a lot about your opponent. In this case, Plastikqs is maybe learning they can get away with some of this.
And these sorts of little briefcase minutiae are not necessarily the kind of thing that newer players will learn right off the bat, so it's possible that that brskaylor and or Plastikqs just didn't know that you can't do that.
It's possible, although they are fairly far in the tournament already, so maybe just missed it, maybe just not in the habit of checking for it regularly. Hard to
Either
say.
way, it's working out for Plastikqs so far as he steps back behind the rifle. brskaylor down by 2 on the spy side of Courtyard. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Starts things out at the statue. Doesn't go for any early swap, just taking the inspects like a normal person. You can tell I kind of wanted it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not a pad.
Normal people just inspect. It's just freaks who swap. But it's more entertaining from our perspective, isn't it?
It sure is. Either way, we get that early highlight. No early flirt, though. Oh my! That was a very bold bug. And it looks like it was clean.
Yeah, so the path is what's wonky. The arm itself is not visible. It's just a path bug if you're shooting for it.
And it's hard to shoot for path bugs that are on the other side of the statue. It was on camera.
Yeah, it was.
But it was far away. Man, that's a really nice play from brskaylor. Picks up 34% on the flirt. That turned this whole game on its head.
That's what happens sometimes on Courtyard. You're thinking about how you want to plan it out. You're doing your soft tells. You're thinking, what's that last mission going to be? Then you get away with a bug, and suddenly you're like, well, crap, I better finish.
No, you didn't! You didn't get away with the bug! It's a fake contact in conversation with a suspected double agent. And the shot just comes off. Plastikqs up 3 now.
Yeah, obviously waiting for any reason, as it turns out, because even a fake banana bread is cause for shooting.
Well, it was in with an SDA.
Oh, they left right after then, I think it was, right? Yeah, either way, certainly caught it and was just waiting for it. And it's still pretty impressive, though. Again, the arm itself I don't think is visible at all. It really is just sort of running into them in a way that, I don't know if I would say it's impossible for the AI, but it's pretty darn unusual.
Yeah. All right. Well, Plastikqs making a show of things, takes both sniper wins, takes the spy win, and is now on the spy side once more, up by 3, looking to sweep the first map. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Bit of a slow start from Plastikqs, but the seduction target is kind and steps in. White test for 22% is not great, but it was free, so why not?
Why not? Very little downside.
Stepping into conversation with the double agent here, fairly early on. Lots of people in conversation. Here comes the contact. I think only lets off the one low light.
Wheels and salmon potential lowlights, but let's see if they get any of them.
No reaction yet. Actually highlights salmon, so no, I don't think brskaylor was able to get anything from that contact.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one, but on top of that, it's even better if the sniper doesn't catch them. That's rough. That's very bad.
Plastikqs stepping into the statue here. This is a good position, except for the flirt situation, but stepping in the statue, should be able to get a fingerprint while we're at it. Minute and 30 left to play. A little bit of an animation cut, but the sniper's on the other side, so who cares? Stepping in for the second flirt. Very slight distance here. White test brings us up to 55%. One minute to play. Staring down the ambassador like a hawk, waiting for him to put his hands on some stuff. But it looks like he's not going to oblige.
Yeah, sometimes you plan out your whole game, you try to avoid the hardtail, you get an early fingerprint, you do everything you need to, and then they just don't touch anything in the last minute. Until now.
Well, it's a green time. I had to give himself some time. Ambassador steps into statues. We still need to finish the flirt as well. I'd probably flirt now and then go to the statues afterwards, but Plastikqs is just hanging out in an innocent conversation right now. 1:05 left on the spy clock.
I'd be worried about the fingerprint being too obvious for sure. I'd rather put some more time between me and that
statue
fingerprint.
to statue. That makes the fingerprint less obvious immediately. Same side as before. Green swap? Are you kidding me? The shot comes off anyways, just for the fingerprint getting done. And Plastikqs not able to sweep, but still comes out of the first map 3-1.
Yeah, as I was saying, you don't want to go to the statue too obviously too late. Put some time between when the ambassador puts it down and when you pick it up. You need to flirt anyway. Go do that. Take the risk that someone else will touch it. Not a huge risk. Those statues can go untouched for a very long time. And if they get touched, you still have a chance at the difficult for the win, which is, giving you pretty decent odds for a spy win. So I think getting the flirt done first would have been the move there. Then you don't have to rush the swap too, which probably also wouldn't have worked given that they were shot for the fingerprint alone.
Like, by definition, it wouldn't have worked if you shot for the fingerprint alone.
Yeah.
Either way, brskaylor only down by 2, stepping in to the prettiest map in the game.
Yep.
Terrace.
Also, the newest map in the game, Terrace, features 2 conversation circles for your spying pleasure. We have 2 sets of statues on the extremes of the map, and Toby has taken his rightful position behind the bar to serve some drinks. It should be noted that this map, the double agent is in fact known to the sniper. The sniper knows exactly who the double agent is, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. No SDAs, and not like Balcony, where they are totally unmarked. This is Terrace, any 3 of 5.
Plastikqs on the sniper side looking to extend that lead. Let's see how brskaylor plays this. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, if the 2 conversations are for your spying pleasure, the fact that you know who the DA is definitely for your sniping pleasure. Makes it a lot easier to figure out who could and couldn't have done a real banana bread, and that factors in heavily to the gameplay on the spy side.
Opening the game with a red flirt. So that's grand. Certainly not what you want to see on the spy side, but you've got a little bit of time. Like, we're already down to 2 minutes. The timer is not very forgiving on this map.
Yeah, the 2:30 clock makes it very difficult for AI to complete, certainly. And it's definitely going to be bumped up, I believe, in the next build to 3 minutes. Could be more interesting then.
No mission progress as of yet. Already down to 1:35 to play. This is a situation. Selection target comes to say hi, may as well, hits the green test, 48%, which hurts a little bit, but we weren't in control of the positioning there, and either way, with only 1:10 to play, well, I don't think we're finishing missions here. brskaylor is just hard idling. Actually, now does step into the statues to pick up the inspects. 1 minute on the clock. Fingerprint as well. So that's a lot of progress done, but with 45 seconds to play, I don't know what we do with this. Takes a highlight for the statue visit. And picks up a drink at the bar, as well as a flirt. No delegate, just a flirt up to 82%, under 30 now. "15 seconds.
Banana bread.
Fake contact comes off. Well, it may as well have been fake, because we're not finishing missions. It doesn't look like Plastikqs is going to bite. And indeed, the clock ticks down, and Plastikqs is able to pick up yet another game.
Yeah, that's what happens sometimes on Terrace. The party doesn't do enough. You don't get missions done. You hope they shoot. And look at all that partial progress, though. Trying to do what I mentioned earlier in some of those high-rise games gives yourself a chance to finish late if no shot comes off. But in this case, it doesn't actually happen. All the work of setting those missions up happens, but none of them get knocked down.
There's just so little time on this map. Like, once that red test came off at the beginning, you're already in a bad spot, and brskaylor just not able to finish it off. Let's see if Plastikqs fares any better. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And I mentioned on High Rise, the Spine Sniper doing the same thing at the beginning of the game. Same is true on Terrace. They're both watching the party.
Now, the relatively slow start is in conversation with the double agent, though, so that's something to play with.
Yeah, we can work with that.
Lots of people in conversations now. 17% flirt! We have another one!
Oh, 2 in one night.
Ouch! Alright, Ambassador decides to get snuggly now that the double agent is left, but this is not a great start for Plastikqs here. We've got a terrible first flirt. Now stepping into the statues for a pair of inspects, but already down to 1:30. Takes the highlight for his troubles as well. Goes statue to statue here. 1:15 to play. Should get the fingerprint, but not much else from this. The timer is so unforgiving on this map.
Yeah, it really feels like it should be like High Rise in the sense that you should be able to get away with a timer flirt or even 2, but you can barely get away with 1.
Stepping in for the next flirt here. This almost has to be green. And it is! Brings us up to 68%. This is within white flirting range. Contact coming off.
Banana bread.
40 seconds to play.
That could help. And look at this. The mission setup looks so similar to last time. Partial progress across the board. Plastikqs, though, probably a little more likely to finish.
Look at the missions. Bug not on the table. What's the play here? Here comes a delegate. 15 seconds. There's no time. There's no time. Gets the fingerprint from the drink.
And there it is.
Sends the twin out to the delegate. Timer hangs at 0 for a moment here.
And that's significant. He's already on it.
brskaylor just knows the shot comes off. And Kaylor went down early in Courtyard, but is hanging in there.
Yeah, nice little comeback there. Those are some big wins all over it. And the funny thing is, because they weren't shot for the fingerprint specifically, you got to imagine they were going to win if they'd gotten the flirt done. Because you're probably crediting flirt at that point if you're the sniper, too. So yeah. I think they did the hard part. But sometimes you don't get those flirts, and in a map that's unforgiving time-wise, that actually can be a difference. It's a big deal.
Absolutely. brskaylor on the spy side with the chance to break serve and start trying to tie this match up. Let's see what he can do from the spy side of Terrace. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Starts things out at statue for a single inspect. 1 cycle still gets you highlight, though.
Yeah, you're going to do it at least one of the 2 visits, potentially. So, doesn't really matter too much.
Right on the way out, picks up the first flirt for 34%. Looks like he's gonna timer flirt here, which is questionable considering what we've seen on the clocks lately. But that looks like it's the play here. Just hanging out.
There's a weird little thing here, kind of dissonance, where we're playing the map. It feels like you should be able to take your time and timer flirt, but if you actually look at the timer, you can't.
Seduction target steps away at exactly the wrong moment, and that basically means we're not completing missions unless we rush like crazy. That's brutal. You invest 45 seconds into a flirt to get nothing in return. Inspect's finished up at this point, but with 50 seconds to play, how do you do this? Well, Ambassador being right there might be of some help, but it's just so exposed. Second flirt comes off 68%. This is bad. Under 30 seconds now.
Yeah, if you're sensing a theme here, running low on time again, it's not the players so much, it really is the map.
Banana bread.
But then one of the players selected the map, so...
Contact comes off, and the bullet immediately. Plastikqs takes a win on the sniper side of Terrace and steps back into the spy shoes, looking to extend the lead. brskaylor looking to hold serve. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yep, we got more Terrace games here still. Let's see, though, if running through these a couple times, maybe the spies realize, okay, however this feels, clearly I've got to move. I've got to haul.
33% on the first flirt is a decent way to start that. Especially this early on. And moving. I like what I'm seeing so far. That I'm liking less, but the double agent is kind and follows, so we can still make progress from here. Not a bad time for it either. Now everyone's moving, though. Everybody stand still for a second. We need to contact this man. Oh, now he's left. That's a problem. Minute and 35 to play as we step into the bar to get a poor quality flirt and a drink. It is going to be a green test, though, so poor quality doesn't matter when you hit the action test. We're up to 73%.
Action tests cover a multitude of spy sins.
Ain't that the truth? Picks up a delegate with a drink. Minute and 10 left to play. No completions yet, but we should get our first one here with the flirt. There's the flirt done. Can't really delegate until this talk cycle is over. Delegate and walk. I like that little play there. Stepping into conversation with the double agent. This might be our first proper mission completion, but it's a red test on the contact. The cough comes off, and so does the shot. brskaylor hanging on. 3-5 is the current scoreline.
I think we've had 2 red test BBs and 2 17% flirts. It's been a tough night.
Yeah, it's one of those casts.
Yep.
It's been a tough night. I think what would relax us all is some ballroom dancing. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go for it.
Ballroom
dancing with bullets.
The OG map of Spy Party. Ballroom features 1 giant box of folks, 2 sets of statues, 3 each, 2 bookcases, a blue one in the back corner, a green one in the other corner. Some interesting ways to obscure the sniper's vision through use of these nice little pillars. That's all and can be yours if the price is right.
In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Tobo, I think he owns these spy rooms and is trying to rent them out to us or something. It's starting to seem like that.
I just wasn't going to comment on it. brskaylor starting things off the back statues here on the side for actually just the one inspect, and it's the middle one. Why do people do that?
Why do people do that? I don't know. Because people wouldn't do that. Because why would people do that? That's exactly
but
why.
just take the side one. You have options that way. It looks the same. Sniper can't tell the difference. Either way, we do have one inspect and the early highlight, but yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed.
I don't blame you.
Selection target comes in to say hi, but it's not going to be a great flirt. It is, however, a free flirt for 20%.
That makes it great, if you ask me.
2 minutes and 15 to play. Not a whole lot of progress as of yet, but you should be able to pick up another. Well, maybe not. Nope, he leaves too fast. Flirtation cooldown was not expired yet. Rough spy game for Kaylor so far. Especially now caught in a conversation on your own. The ambassador, though, looks like he's setting himself up to get bugged, so if we're able to catch Plastikqs on a bad rotation, there might be something there. Not able to risk it, though. Hits the green purloin. We'll see how that turns out moving forward.
But you know they're looking there because the ambassador was near you just recently, so
Yeah,
there's kind of a risk there. Now, they might be staring down the ambassador and forget about the list, but that's an awful chance to take knowing they're looking in that general area already.
But there's so little progress at this point. Purloin comes off, but with only 1 minute and 5 to play, what's the plan here for brskaylor?
Well, Purloin is a plan all unto itself, really, on Ballroom. When you see it go off, if you hear a banana bread, it's really hard not to shoot.
That's very true. A little bit of an early leave from the statues there. Double Agent doesn't want any part of this business. Steps off to a different conversation. The fake contact comes off, and this could be enough to induce a shot. Let's see if Plastikqs is able to keep his cool. brskaylor is all in on not finishing at this point.
Yeah.
Oh no! No trigger pull!
Just waiting, and the 10 seconds and then some. It's been almost 20 seconds now since the banana bread. Clearly holding the shot. brskaylor must know it hasn't worked.
Oh man, the patience from Plastikqs. I thought brskaylor had that for sure. Plastikqs just barely stopping himself from taking the shot and finds a win because of it.
That's very impressive patience. That is such a hard thing when you're even when you're a good sniper, to hold that shot on a map like this with a lot of occlusion, on a map like Gallery too, certainly, where it's just so easy to imagine you miss something. And in this case, you know, the purloin has gone off. On the other hand, if you're a good enough sniper, you might not know for sure where the purloin came from, but you can be confident you have it narrowed down, and then you can wait them out.
It's worth noting that Alice, the character that Plastikqs did release the trigger on, or release the safety on, was the green purloin victim. So purloin was caught, but Plastikqs just knowing, yeah, this person can't possibly be done.
Right. So if the purloin victim can't be done, and maybe they have you as a backup or something, you're the second choice, you know, someone in the chain, something like that. If pretty much nothing else happens after that, and they don't think you did too much before, it still doesn't necessarily work.
brskaylor having a bit of a tough time on the spy games, but playing a very strong sniper so far. Let's see if he can keep it up. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Plastikqs trying real hard to get in that conversation, eventually is able to, right next to the selection target for 34% on the first flirt. And in conversation with the double agent as well, but Way too many people outside of conversation right now. And Plastikqs looks like he's just hanging out at the start of this game, waiting for a timer flirt. Which is, it's a good position for it, too.
Yeah, it makes plenty of sense in this scenario.
Steps into blue bookcase, pick up a fingerprint, possibly start some microphone shenaniganry. We are indeed.
And I think he caught the end of that.
For it, it was just the tail end, but it was something. And
Yeah.
Plastikqs is now a lot more suspicious than you'd like.
Zoomed in quite a bit, even at the end of it. And a character, by the way, kind of known for their pretty good microfilm animations there. I think very suspicious, and Plastikqs is going to have a hard time, I think, completing missions now.
I think so. No completions as of yet, with 2 minutes left to play. Lots of progress. We've got a fingerprint, a flirt, and blue microfilm in pocket, but green is the difficult bookcase, and when you've already been caught for the first one, brskaylor will be watching you like a hawk at green.
Yeah, even if you are going to win this game, it's going to be hard to imagine you finish it with microfilm.
Yeah. Minute and 30 to play. Briefcase for the second fingerprint. So we do have one completion at this point, stepping into the conversation with the double agent for another, but not in a great position here. There's the contact coming off. 1 minute to play. And yeah, that's just a shot. Way too suspicious about the transfer microfilm to be able to get away with anything. And brskaylor still holding on from the sniper side.
Yeah, nothing fancy there. Just zoomed in at the right time on a microfilm animation and then waited a minute. That's all it is. That's all it takes sometimes. There have been games where I have been, and found out later, looking at the log, way behind on ballroom, and then I just glance over to the side of the map as a microfilm's happening, and it saves it. That's why it's a hard tell. That's why hard tells are dangerous. One look at the wrong time, and the game is over.
And that brings us to the end of Ballroom. Moving on to the next map of the set, we end up in Modern, the largest map in all of Spy Party. There are 3 sets of statues in pairs of 2. Toby has taken a position behind the bar. There are 3 bookcases, a red one in kind of an awkward position, hidden in the back, plus the classic blue and green bookcases. This kind of little dead area near the lawn chairs, great for sneaking some time ads, and a whole mess of conversation circles for flirting and for contacting.
Also, this map is huge. Let's see what brskaylor makes of it. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And Challenger, this went about 60-40 for the snipers overall on the season. And worth noting that most of those spy wins were not mission wins, they were civilian shot.
Very slow character from brskaylor as well is a little bit unfortunate.
Well, unless you get reduced heat for it. I know some people who will lowlight someone like Pearls or Orange Sari relatively early in the game if they idle a little bit, knowing that if this is the spy, they're going to have a hard time getting all these missions done at that speed.
brskaylor starts things out by pulling out a book from the blue bookcase and stepping into an innocent conversation. Would really like to start off the flirt here, but the section target is stepping a long way away. We are, in fact, going to chase. Should be easy to get nice and snuggly here, and indeed we do. So this first flirt is going to be a green test for 51%. Very nice start.
It's a good start, but you just can't lay low. Like so many other maps, you get something done early, and you could sort of wait it out, grind it out from there, and kind of see that through, press that advantage throughout the rest of the clock's runtime. There really isn't much time on Modern, though. You have to just keep moving. You have to make steady progress pretty much the whole way.
Yeah, already down to 2.5 minutes on the clock with a very slow character and very long distances to
Banana
walk.
bread.
Here's the contact coming off when the double agent decides to join us, so that's quite nice. Able to get 4 low lights, I think, one of which was high lit, but that's not terrible.
No, it's pretty close to the normal over-under.
Is Plastikqs on the book? It doesn't look like it, so this should be the microfilm transfer done cleanly. Two mission completions, half a flirt, minute and 45 on the clock. Now a minute and 30 on the clock. SCL4 stepping out for the next flirt.
Yeah, again, 2.5 missions done, but only a minute 20
That's a
left.
bit of a distance. It might not be close enough. It's going to be tight.
I don't think it is.
Oh,
it is
just
barely.
enough.
Wow.
49% on that next green test is enough to finish it up. But we only have a minute and 5 left to play and 2 missions to get.
Well, I really thought they had a few pixels there that they were just short, but no, just enough.
And thank goodness for that. If he had been at 99%, SCL4 would not have been a happy camper. Stepping now into the bar to pick up a delegate, but time is running out fast. Under 40 seconds now. Contact has already been done. We grab the delegate. Bug is still on the table. Purloin is still on the table. Stepping into books after basically a walking delegate. A beautiful little move from brskaylor. The swap comes off. Oh no! No. Okay, the shot comes off. Oh, that could have been glorious.
It was a rush at the end of the game, but just too much of a suspect already, I think. Just too much activity. You know, obviously you can only move around so fast with that character. But, you know, still, the mere fact that they got to the mission win pending without it being too ridiculously obvious, a little surprising, I think, when you look at where that game was just a couple minutes earlier.
That is a rough statue to try to get a swap off on.
Yeah.
brskaylor still not able to find anything from the spy side. Plastikqs now up to 7. Looking for an 8th on the spy side of Modern. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. Not a great party to start things out for Plastikqs here. Seduction's all the way out in no man's land, nothing to do in this conversation. Too many people outside conversations to get a good contact off. Plastikqs just stepping away to another conversation with nothing in it.
And chasing the seduction target seems safe because it's a big map. You figure it's like veranda or library, you can get away with a lot. Not really. It's harder to get away with here because you have to go such a long distance sometimes to follow someone.
brskaylor marking books.
Yeah, very carefully, it looks like.
Indeed. Plastikqs still with nothing done 30 seconds into the game. The bug into conversation, though, gives him a big leg up on the missions.
And Kaylor was busy marking a book when it happened.
Ain't that the breaks? Plastikqs with a huge mission completion by brskaylor, completely and utterly clean. But no progress on the flirt yet as he steps into statues. Pair of inspects come off. No highlight as of yet. Man, brskaylor spending a huge amount of attention marking books here. As Plastikqs steps into conversation with a double agent. Lots of movement, though. Plastik's not pulling the trigger on the contact yet. Here it comes, though, on the white test.
Banana bread.
Contact comes off. 1, 2, 3 lowlights. 4 lowlights. And a bad highlight.
And that can be more important sometimes than the lowlights, is who gets a false suspicion attached to them.
Very much can be. Plastikqs finishing up the inspect and hitting a green swap on the way out. Does get the highlight for the statue visit too. That could be big. Still marking books. Here comes the swap getting ready to come off. Hasn't seen it yet. Now I think it's certainly been on camera. I don't know if brskaylor's eyes are there. Highlights for statue. Maybe hasn't even looked at the statue yet, because no reaction other than the statue highlight. First flirt comes off really late in the game for 51%, but we're already down to 35 seconds.
Yeah, so much progress about to be wasted if they don't hurry up or add time, but we're already within the beeps.
Red book in hand, though. Here's the time ad coming off. It's a green test. And that was a necessary green.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they're in big trouble even with that, but without it, I think the game would be over already.
Marked books! The book
Here it
was
is.
marked! You can't put it there! That's not where that goes! And
Yeah.
brskaylor still hanging on the sniper side.
brskaylor playing the angry librarian sniper style, misses a bug marking books, but it pays off in the long run, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that while watching the game. I was like, man, he's spending a lot of time marking books. But you know what? And then as soon as I saw Plastikqs go to books, I'm like, all right, marking books is going to pay off in this game. And of course, there it goes.
It's a reasonable assumption that a lot of your opponents are gonna do that book transfer, at some point on this map. And that if you just sell out on that, if you're confident you can get it every time, you can nail them for it.
Yeah, I would even wager that Modern is probably the map that book transfers happen the most. I don't have the data for it. We'd probably compute it at some point. But I would say, of all the maps that have successful book transfers, I'd say Modern has the most of them.
It's a reasonable guess, yeah.
But that brings us away from Modern and into my personal favorite map, The Pub, named the Irene Adler literary reference. There's an inside section and an outside section. Toby behind the bar. I think we've had all 3 Toby behind the bar maps this set so far. There are 2 statues, one on either side of the bar. This map is interesting. You only need to inspect 1 statue in order to complete the mission. So going to a statue is uber mega suspicious, especially the last 30 seconds in the game. There's also a couple conversation circles outside and a lot of little windows for you to flirt at on Pub any 4 of 7.
brskaylor, assuming he keeps winning the sniper side, has 2 more chances to find a game win on the spy. Starting things off on Pub in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And starting things off on this game with the early flirt. Green test for 51% as well is nice to see. The only sniper game brskaylor has given up so— oh god! That's not where bugs should go.
Yep, look, you just see it sometimes. If you take a good angle, and Pub in particular is about taking good sniper angles, because you can't afford to miss something like that, or it's basically the game. Now, this wasn't particularly well hidden. I think it was just an impulse bug, obviously the wrong hand. But if you're in the far left, for example, instead of the right there, if you're not looking at the Pub dead on, it's the kind of thing you could conceivably miss.
Yeah, that is not the place to do the buggings. It's a little bit too far out there, but that will give Plastikqs 3 match points.
That's a rough position. Yeah.
If brskaylor is able to find a way to break through in these next batch of games, he will force overtime. But Plastikqs only needs one of the next 3 to bring himself to the top 4. And his first chance is on the spy side of pub in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Definitely a commanding position here. Some very good plays by brskaylor, but Plastikqs has been able to get away with too many aggressive things on the spy side is pretty much what it comes down to.
Plastikqs, the only spy game he's won so far is that first one on Courtyard, but brskaylor just hasn't been able to make anything happen on that roll. Plastikqs picks up an early delegate after the flirt for 26% and gives chase. Not able to get a good spot in that conversation, though. That was really awkward, but it doesn't look like it was caught. 77% after the second flirt. Nice close green there. Gets Hylet as well for his troubles. If Plastikqs is going to delegate, he's going to have to do so basically now. Doesn't look like it's happening.
Banana bread.
Contact comes off on the green test. 3 clear lowlights. 2 of them were Hylet, 1 of them was Smallman.
Always significant, especially with the kind of bug Smallman can get away with on this map sometimes.
Minute and 45 seconds to play. We've got 2 flirts done. We've got 2 missions done. We do have, as well, though, a fairly big highlight, I think. Especially now that we're stepping into statues.
Yeah, it's not that hard to get away with Purloin without being shot. The problem is, can you finish missions after that without getting shot?
Oh, he forgot to gulp! He forgot to gulp! Takes 2 sips at the statue, and brskaylor is on it. The shot comes off, and he stays alive a little bit longer. Now, the question on everybody's mind, can brskaylor find a spy win when it counts?
We're gonna find out on High Rise, the last map of this set. I don't think... Oh no, we have seen High Rise. High Rise, also too, the classic blue and green bookshelves. Some interesting bits of occlusion from these kind of screen thingies. A bunch of statues, a set of 2, a set of 3, another set of 2 over there. A little outdoor window for some time ad, and 2 conversation circles for your chatting. Any 3 of 5 is the name of the game on this map, so I'll let Tovo talk about the missions that have been cut. Here we go, the last map of the set.
Interestingly enough, Bug has been taken off, as well as the transfer and the swap. So the Purloin is available, but the Bug is not. brskaylor has been having a little bit of difficulties with the time on the spy side. This is a map that will remedy that. You have lots and lots of time to play with. We'll see if it's enough. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. I almost got excited about a Time of Chaos Bug, but I just got finished saying you can't do that.
It's unusual to leave it off. It just makes snipers so paranoid, and it's such a great thing to just get away with at an opportune time in the middle of the game sometimes.
Early statue visit for the single inspect means an early highlight for brskaylor. I'm honestly not sure why you don't at least take the second inspect in that situation. First flirt comes off for 28% as well. Not the start you want to see on that mission, but you've still got a couple more chances to hit the green test. Oh, that's just a white purloin.
And Plastikqs is going to wait maybe a little bit for confirmation, but you're not going to get anything done now.
I think at this point, brskaylor's only way back into this match is to just not do anything and hope an AI gets shot.
That's
because
it.
This is really bad.
Yeah, probably. That's the risk for doing Purloin as something other than the last mission in particular.
Really just hoping it was green, and it wasn't. Double Agent steps in the conversation, but we might have to at least hit a contact at some point, but ideally, you don't want to be in the conversation with the Double Agent when it happens.
Yeah, your best bet is going all in on some kind of fake frame thing.
Very, very difficult situation for brskaylor as we hit the minute and 30-second mark. The timer used to be his enemy. Now the Purloin is. Let's see how he plays this. Time slowly starting to tick down. Steps in the conversation without the Double Agent in it. Needs to wait for more people to enter conversation, though.
Yeah, if you were planning on finishing, maybe you didn't take too much note of the party, and now you actually need to find someone to frame, and you don't know who it is, so you just have to get as many people as possible in there. Or you could say, screw it, I'm not dead yet, maybe I'll finish after all.
Steps back into statues to finish the inspects. And that's just... Oh, God, I was so close to shooting Toby!
Yeah,
but
we should have said that. That was actually their best chance of maybe winning, is getting Toby shot.
Plastikqs, with what could have very easily been heartbreak, manages to find the win of the set, 9-6. It was a pretty hard-fought match, but Plastikqs gets it done and advances into the top 4 of the Challenger bracket.
Yeah, we're really down to it now. We have a lot of the top seeds. Obviously, a handful of them have been knocked out already, but that's Plastikqs, the number 5 seed tonight we've seen, and Shep, the number 3 seed tonight, both making it into the top 4, living up to those seedings for sure so far.
Yeah, and that brings us to the end of tonight's cast. I want to thank both Tobo and Warning Track for casting along with me. Do you have anything you want to plug? Any Twitches, Twitters, anything like that you want to say?
I think the most important thing to plug right now is this coming Saturday.
This Saturday? What happens this Saturday?
Ladies and gentlemen, the grand finals for the Diamond Division of the Spy Party Competitive League Season 4 happen this Saturday. It's going to be Crazy Kaylee versus Canadian Bacon, and if there's any cast you are able to catch for this entire season, this is it.
Yeah, this is it. Crazy Kaylee has won the SCL all 3 seasons been in existence. He is in the finals for the 4th consecutive year. Bacon, one of the... probably maybe the foremost authority on AI knowledge in the beta, more or less. Knows some things about the AI sometimes the checker himself doesn't seem to know, which is really saying something because that guy wrote the game. But Bacon has had a breakthrough season this year and finished second place and has now earned the right to try to dethrone Kaylee here. And we did see when they played each other late in the season, we saw a draw with a spy win on Library from Bacon, of which there were only 2 against Kaylee all season. The other one came from Bloom. So he's shown that he can do it. The question is, can he do it more than once? And can he hold serve on the sniper side? We are going to find out on Saturday. Definitely check it out.
Yep, and I believe you two will be back, but I'm sure we'll we'll announce all the details of that. Keep an eye on the Spy Party Twitter. That's twitter.com/spyparty, where we'll announce all of that stuff. Do either of you have any Twitters or something you want to mention, or are we just going to finish off there?
Yeah.
Sure. You can find me at twitter.com/ToboTV. Mostly I just tweet out when I'm going to be casting something, and very occasionally at twitch.tv/Toboshi as well.
SpyPartyFans.com, at SpyPartyFans on Twitter. We have all sorts of cool statistical analysis going up. We have some new features. SCL Season 4 data is mostly up now. New features coming out, including the Game Finder, where you tell it what you want in plain English. I want this player against this player in this role or that role in this division with this outcome on this map, but not that map, and so on and so forth. And it spits them all out with the replays and any attached VODs. It's going to be great, and it's going up this week.
Yep, I saw a preview of it. It's actually kind of amazing.
Thank you.
The game is Spy Party. You can... well, actually, I'll plug myself first. I am Lieutenant Hummus. You can find me on Twitter, LT Hummus. You can find me at Twitch, the same name. The game is Spy Party, which you can find more information about at www.spyparty.com. Follow them on Twitter, at Spy Party. The game is available right now, $25 on Steam. And a special announcement, I will say, if you are going to be in the Seattle area in in 3 weeks from today at PAX West, come see us. We're going to have a booth there. We're in booth 1500, kind of in our little corner we traditionally are in. I will be around parts of the time. I believe Track, you're going to be there as well for bits.
I absolutely will.
Yeah.
I'll be there all the time. You can meet pretty much all of us. Almost everyone who casts, I think, is going to be there, actually.
And a lot of the upper players, too, I believe, will be stopping by as well.
Oh, it's something like, I don't know, 12 of the top 20 players in terms of game played or something like that are going to be at PAX this year.
Yeah,
you are welcome to say hello. Yeah, that's quite a bit. It's literally, I did the math, and a few years ago at one point, given how small the booth is next to the Behemoth too, it was 1,000 games per square foot is how it could have came out to.
1,000 games of Spy Party players per square foot.
Yeah, and it's going to be even more this time. It's going to be close to 200,000 total games there.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, anyway, come see us if you're going to be at PAX West. Like I said, we're in booth 1500. The game is Spy Party, out now on Steam. Early access. We will see you next week for that hype as all hell match. Good night, everyone.